More breaking developments coming in as we speak. The Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency has now called an emergency meeting of the Board of Governors. This is being done, we are being told, quote unquote, in light of the urgent situation in Iran following the latest attacks on the country's nuclear facilities, unquote. Ambassador Veena Sikri, now the Iranians have, number one, said yes that our nuclear weapon sites have been hit. They've said two, that there is no radiation leak at this point of time. There is no way you and I can verify the veracity of the truth of that at all. They've appealed for the IAEA to take up this matter, but in the end, the IAEA, which comprises of the nuclear weapon states and the nuclear suppliers group, in the end, that's not going to do anything. So we're just talking. That's a talking shop at this point of time.
Well, I think there are 2 points to be recognized here. First of all, we have to recognize that the American decision to use these the bombers to take out Iran's nuclear facilities, it's a huge escalation in the crisis, very huge. The entry of America into this crisis is very huge. Now, America has said that yes, we have taken out your nuclear facilities, that's it. So we don't want a regime change, and that is their statement. Now, the question now is that Iran has immediately responded. They have responded by attacking Tel Aviv, and there have been major attacks there. There have been casualties, there have been major destruction. The weapons, the Iranian hypersonic missiles have got through the Iron Dome once again and hit the city. The question is, what now? Will there be an escalation? Iran has threatened escalation through closing the Straits of Hormuz, through attacking American regional bases, attacking any American they see. We do know that our Prime Minister has spoken to Iranian President Pezeshkian. That is a very major step, a very major initiative by our Prime Minister for de-escalation, dialogue and diplomacy. This is very, very important that our Prime Minister has taken this step. I think the critical step now is going to be what kind of response Israel is going to give to the Iranian hypersonic missile. Now, if we agree that there were nuclear talks going on between America and Iran, and there was a session scheduled as recently as Sunday, the 15th of June, but it didn't take place because of the Israeli attacks on Iran. And Iran has said that as long as Israel attacks us, we are not going to go for the nuclear talks. Now that America has done this attack and taken out Iran's nuclear facilities, will Israel stop its attack on Iran so that dialogue and diplomacy can start?
But dialogue to what measure? If indeed, if we take the Israelis and the Americans at their word, and they are trying to back it up with satellite footage, and the satellite footage is pretty damning. The buildings are in smoking ruins. Now, fissile material can be moved around, but you can't move around centrifuges and all, though that's impossible to do. So, if indeed they have put back the missile program or the nuclear program by 10 years, what's left for the Iranians to negotiate? What's left to talk about?
No, the negotiation would be that, okay, a commitment that Iran would not go nuclear in the future. They would stop their nuclear. What about their civilian nuclear reactors? Would that be allowed to go on? China has built civilian nuclear reactors. There's a whole lot of issues on the issue of the future of Iranians' nuclear program, civilian or otherwise. The commitment that all right, we will not do, Iran as a signatory to the NPT, and so on. All these issues are there. There are many issues to tie up, many details to be tied up, which can bring about a complete de-escalation that our Prime Minister has spoken about, and will lead to regional peace and security. I think that has to be the objective.
What has Iran got left in its cards, negotiating table? What have they got left?
It got Straits of Hormuz, it got control of Iranian supplies, it got possible attack on regional American bases in the area. Qatar, as you know, is a very, very big American base. There's a huge amount of escalation further possible. I don't think that we can rule out that, that I don't think one should say that Iran is completely now finished and forget about it, nothing more is going to happen. I think the potential, we know today, as we know the further development, as you know of today, that Iranian foreign minister is going to go to Moscow tomorrow morning. And Putin has made, one of Putin's top aides has made a statement. He's going to have talks with President Putin, the Iranian foreign minister, and the Putin top aide has made a statement. Oh, there are many countries who are willing to give Iran nuclear warheads. There are all kinds of escalatory things which could happen, although many other people are saying, no, we are sure that President Putin and President Trump has agreed.
Okay, I have to ask you, is there a potential then of a Cuban situation where an attempt is made, or at least a purported attempt is made, that a different power, nuclear armed power, could say that, all right, we are opening up a base in Iran, and we intend to transfer our nuclear facilities or our nuclear launch capabilities to this base, as was what happened in the Cuban Missile Crisis.
This is very escalatory. That would be extremely escalatory. And I think that everybody is saying we're already in World War III. But I mean, I think to have something like that a country like Russia or China, saying we're going to station nuclear warheads would be extremely escalatory at this point. And I don't think anybody would want it. And I think that's one of the reasons that our Prime Minister took the initiative to speak to the Iranian president. We do not want an escalation right now. We want de-escalation, dialogue, and diplomacy. We should be working for that completely and strongly. And I think that Russia and China too should be on that side to prevent an escalation.
Okay,
I mean,
all right.
It's important, very important to have prevented escalation under all costs.
Other than for the Iranians themselves, I would not even say it is in the Indian interest for Iran to have nuclear weapons. So there will be few takers to say that yes, Iran should have gone down the nuclear road or should continue going down the nuclear road. They'll find few takers for that. But for the Iranians, after having been so badly and publicly struck, then to be told in the same sentence that we have destroyed all of your sites, now we want peace, I don't think it will be easy to digest. They'll have to do something now, and something big will have to be done. Otherwise, it's a damn squib, and damn squibs in authoritarian dictatorships generally lead to bad tidings for the authoritarian dictators. That's just a reality of life. More breaking developments coming in. This is a response from the European Union Foreign Policy Chief, Kaja Kallas. He is now put out, and I quote, "Iran must not be allowed to develop a nuclear weapon, as it would be a threat to international security. I urge all sides to step back, return to the negotiating table, and prevent further escalation. EU foreign ministers will discuss the situation tomorrow." So, Ambassador Sikri, the Iranians say that we never left the negotiating table. The negotiating table was blown up by the Israelis and the Americans, and here's the wreckage to show so.
Yeah, that is true. But Iranians also said that we will not go back to the negotiating table unless Israel stops its attacks on Iran. Now, we do know, yes, you're right, that the Israeli attacks on Iran have been supplemented by this huge escalation with the American B-50 bombers attack, and of course the attack on 3 nuclear facilities at Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan. So I think that is a huge escalation. But if America is ready to say, okay, I'm stopping right here, and in America there's a further complication that Nancy Pelosi has said that President Trump has done this attack on Iran without taking congressional approval. So she is raising a huge hue and cry on that count in America, that congressional approval was necessary for President Trump to have made this attack. And we do know that within America's President Trump's MAGA supporters, Make America Great Again supporters, there's a division of opinion on whether, contrary to what President Trump
Donald Trump ain't going to be sending troops via Balochistan into Iran.
Yeah, so I think a way out for everybody would be come to the talking table.
Okay.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.